Hi everybody, it's Sarah with House Copper, and this video is going to be about how to form bodies if you don't have a rolling machine. So if you do not have a rollers of any kind, then it's really hard sometimes to make things round. And so today I'm going to show you how to do it using a stake. We'll use two different stakes. I'm going to do a cone body, cone-shaped, body, as well as a straight-sided body. And if you can't find stakes are easier to find, or you can use pieces of metal in somewhat of the shape that you're looking for. If you can't, even just like carving off a piece of wood for something cone-shaped, or getting a piece of PVC pipe and bolting it to your bench can work for any straight-sided bodies, mugs and canisters and stuff like that. So the big thing is finding something relatively in the diameter of what you're gonna do or close enough. And so I'll do that with the stakes today just to show you how to do it by hand versus essentially a machine. So we're gonna start with this one. I have a piece that is a sample, it's a prototype I'm working on that we'll do with this is actually called a hornbill stake, because it is kind of got this like almost like a bird's bill on the top. And then I will be using, you can use any type of pipe stake, and I'll show you what those look like, but then I'll be using something else because you don't want to use anything conical in shape for a straight-sided piece that you're building. So I guess without further ado, we're gonna get started with this piece. All right, so hornbill stake, or any stake that has somewhat of a diameter. If I was doing something really small, I could use the back of the hornbill, but I know that I need this larger one. And then I try not to hammer because hammering will leave marks on the metal. And I'm slowly telling the metal which way I wanna go, but not so fast that I kink it. Because if I kink it, you really can't come back from that. And so I'm really pressing the metal, but without a lot of force and kind of slowly. The ends are the hardest. So when you get to an end, you really kind of have to press that end down a little bit more. And eventually at some point you might need to hammer an end so that it does sit a little flat. These are gonna be a seam, a crimp seam, one of the two crimp seams, and I'll show you guys that on a different video. But you just go back and forth and you're just convincing that metal, but it's not a fast, there's flies everywhere because it's fall. We don't like you, fly, go away. Seriously, fly. Liz is videoing you guys and she was like, you're gonna get flies all over the video. She was right. She's like, I don't want them in the video. They're gonna be buzzing all over you. I'm like, it's fine, it's behind you. But yeah, it's slow. You can't speed this up, and hammering it, unless you're planning to have hammer dings and dents everywhere, is not gonna help you. It's truly just working your way on the shape so that you can eventually get it to be a cone. And then I will move up on the stake so I'm closer to the top. So, instead of being all the way back here, I'll move closer to where it's narrower because I really need this top to start to get smaller, and with that will be the base. And I'm just gonna let Liz move around and you guys can hopefully see all the angles. I never know what's helpful, and unless you're actually pressing the metal yourself, it's hard to get a feel for how much or how little pressure. I might look like I'm using a lot of pressure, but I'm not overgoing. Here I almost kinked it again. So this is how it used to be done before the invention of rollers, and it's why it took forever to make something, because there was a lot of hand time. And yeah, so this is what I'm gonna do for a while. Everybody can go make a sandwich. All right, so here's the straight-sided piece. Same idea, but in this case, I'm gonna start big and then move small. So same idea. I don't necessarily want to hammer because it'll leave the marks and you'll dent it up. And in the case of tin, for instance, you will you'll make marks and you're gonna scratch that tin, and then there'll be the steel exposed, and then it'll start to rust really fast. It's the part people kind of forget about. So once I get this to where I can't get the diameter smaller anymore, then I'm gonna move, so it's halfway there. We're gonna move over here. Don't hit anything, Liz. Keep waiting for her to, I'm gonna hit some metal thing and then I'll be in trouble. No, I'm kidding. And so then I will bend this bit by bit on a smaller diameter. And as you can tell, like this right here actually is 100% round. It's not tapered. This end is tapered, but this end is round. So if you have anything that's 100% round, like that PVC pipe, or if all you have is like a stove pipe stake that's 100% round, just use that round part. You just don't want to be using anything tapered here because it's just not ideal for something that should be straight. It will show in the formation of the piece. And this bends so much nicer because it's tin. It's gonna solder so much nicer. Tin's just so much easier to work with. It's just more forgiving in terms of heat. All right, so then we have, and you know, you'll round it out as you go, but you kind of just want to get it so that you overlap easily enough where the seams are for soldering. And then once you're here, if you really want, see how this is sticking up here? And this is just kind of a finishing thing, but you can sort of gently with a mallet try and flatten that so that when I solder it, you know, you want that seam to be a little tighter. I could do a little more, but you want the metal to be laying as flat as possible next to each other. So I might go on both sides. I might hold it here. So just some side tricks. Come on. I just want it to solder and lay flat a little bit. I'll be using this for a soldering video later, and just nicer when the solder doesn't run willy-nilly. That's better. We'll work it a little more, but yeah. So, and then you've got your round shape. So you can see how PVC pipe would work, or any shape of anything that's able to be pressed upon would work. So that's essentially how you form it. It's all just hand, slow, your body weight and the pressure of your hand working with the metal as opposed to kind of forcing the metal. So anyway, there you go. That's the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and find me on House Copper on Instagram and Facebook, not Twitter or whatever they call it now, because I don't understand that particular social platform. And then books, wherever books are sold, Copper, Iron, and Clay. And if you have any other thoughts or comments or questions, if there's something else you would want to see related to this video, please write it down in the comments below. And I really always appreciate those ideas, because sometimes I run out of ideas of what exactly everybody wants to see. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you here next time.